Welcome back to SeaBATTLE 8. We are here getting ready for the next game.
Yes.
We have That's My Scapegoat still on the station, as well
As Blue
as...
Moon Battlers on the other side. And you know, we just saw That's My Scapegoat, which was a really crazy first match with a lot of close games between them and Saturday Night SpeedL. But Blue Moon Battlers, I'd say, is a little bit less well known. I think less of these players have played at previous SeaBattles, and they're kind of out here to prove themselves, I would say. So I'm really interested to see the kind of work that they do here against That's My Scapegoat, who has been a pretty well-established, a lot of their members have visited a lot of the SeaBattles.
Yeah.
So kind of seeing like the new guard and the old guard go up against each other. And
Yeah.
I think we're going to be really interested to see specifically on the side of the Blue Moon Battlers, Bolts, who
Absolutely.
is the player that I'm kind of have most interested in because I've seen them play before, and they are an excellent bow one-trick. So they know how to work the bow, and they know how to put on a lot of pressure from across the side of the field.
Yeah.
And then also some other players as well, LP, Kyle's guy, and also Bluey as well. We know a little bit less about them. They played in less SeaBattles previously, but they are getting ready to fight this well-known team.
Well, Kyle's my guy has been to many SeaBattles and often travels to Sunset Search. Yeah, definitely not like as much of Blue Moon Battlers are not as much of a household name as That's My Scapegoat, who's been a team for almost every single SeaBattle.
Yeah, we've seen some iteration of That's My Scapegoat, mostly known as That's My Goat, at just about everything. But like in a way, that's a really good thing because you build a lot of like synergy with each other. But at the same time, there's also like an X factor to being a team that's sort of a newer pickup, or maybe the players have played before, but like they haven't played with each other, because there's the unpredictability element. You're like, oh, we don't know what exactly they're going to pick. And I'm actually really excited to see how they perform here as we get into our first Rainmaker match of the day, because last time we had Clamps Tower and Zones, and now we have Undertow Rainmaker. What do you think of this map mode?
I like it. It's
you
really
like it?
fun.
Okay.
It's very cinematic.
It can be polarizing. It can
It's
be
very
polarizing, okay?
absolutely.
Right? Like, what do you like about it? That's maybe a better question.
It's really cinematic. Once a very good push starts happening, you can see how... You can kind of see like that narrative structure on the pushes as you're climbing the left side, and it's really fun.
Yeah, and the whole left side push is always really interesting because you have two options. You can go one way, and it's a little bit safer, a little bit more protected, and then you have longer to go. Or you could just go the other way and be like, okay, immediately get to the checkpoints right in front of you, and then if you push enough up the step, you can just win, right?
Yeah.
But it's just more risky. It's more exposed. It's closer to the drop, so you have to be careful of people coming down for you. So there's the whole like risk versus reward trade-off. And I'd say from the perspective of the pushing team, it's generally more common to push left because it's more protected. But you know, we could see some right pushes here.
No,
I
absolutely.
do.
Yeah. and there's also a lot of value of like using the right side for your front line to kind of pincer the enemy.
To do the flank. Exactly.
Absolutely.
We saw some interesting rat play in the last match, and I'll be really curious to see if we see something similar coming out of this as well, because there's a variety of weapons that can just flank up right while everyone's distracted. They're all like, oh no, we need to stop the Rainmaker, everyone rotate left. Nope. Suddenly someone came up right and they do the pinch, like you said, and just like stick in between the two, and suddenly at that point the game is just chaos, right? Because you have people attacking from both sides, you have defenders from all sides. Very, very interesting. And then Rainmaker in general tends to be like, you don't want to lose too much control because it can also just get out of hand extremely quickly.
Yeah.
If you get wiped after like letting go of the first checkpoint, then like that can be a push to 20, 10, 5 knockout, and you want to avoid that as much as possible.
Yeah, it's definitely very snowbally, and there has been some chatter about the game mode itself not being great.
General,
but
I still like it.
I like it.
It's still my favorite mode. But yes, there has been some discussions, I would say, about just the mode in general and how to play it.
But I am interested in seeing how these two teams are going to interact with each other in this mode specifically.
Yeah.
With Bolts being a bow one-trick, I have been a bow believer since day one.
Yep.
I have dabbled into some tri-stringer. I've played a lot of Wellstring.
Wellstring, yep.
And so I am interested in seeing stuff like lob shots over cover and stuff like that.
And also just like bow in Rainmaker, in my experience, like especially if you're running Object Shredder, can get some really unexpected just pops on the Rainmaker. Like you're just over there chilling, you think, okay, we're good, no one's trying to pop it, and then like 1 or 2 shots from the bow pops it and just immediately just wipes you out. So, so like bow is something that I think you have to be really cognizant of if you're facing one on Rainmaker, particularly Wellstring, but also the other bows as well.
With Wellstring, I don't think Object Shredder is as needed, but it's nice to have sometimes.
It
but
can be, yeah.
In my experience, it's better to just kind of run good gear instead of just trying to sacrifice for the Object Shredder.
Yeah.
But with regular bow, it might be a different story because it has 2 less arrows.
Yeah, it has 2 less arrows, but it also has better, because this regular bow's midweight and Wellstring's heavyweight, right?
Yes.
Do I have that right? Okay, I'm not a bow expert, so I wasn't sure if I had that. So I think there's a trade-off, right? Like you have the heavier weight weapon, but then less maneuverability. It's harder to get around versus the midweight weapon.
I believe that it's fast. Wellstring tends to be faster than Tri-Stringer, even though it is on a higher weight category. But when it comes to carrying the Rainmaker, I don't think Wellstring likes to carry it, but I think Bow can be quite adept at doing so.
Wellstring the swim speed is pretty slow when you're picking up Rainmaker. Yeah.
Plus, it can apply a lot of pressure from off angles as well to help the Rainmaker make a better push.
Yeah, totally. Speaking of comps, so we don't know a lot about Blue Moon Battlers yet. We will very soon, but let's just talk about That's My ScapeGOAT really quickly based on what we learned from the last match. So last match, we saw a bunch of different weapons, honestly, come out from the side of That's My ScapeGOAT, and Ollie is like the famous bamboo player. Like, seeing him play bamboo is just normal to us, right? But Nico, we saw, who's, again, first time at SeaBATTLE, Nico, he play a lot of weapons. Like, we saw the Dynamo come out at the beginning. We saw the Reflex come out as well. So Nico's kind of got that unpredictability factor, right?
Nico has this kind of like generalist. I would almost call it like an advantage because he is very knowledgeable of many aspects of the game.
Yeah.
Like not just competitive play, but also salmon run and also like single player and like speedrunning.
Yeah.
And so that adds a lot of versatility that can be applied to competitive play as well that might not be immediately like he might look at opportunities that might not be immediately obvious for other players.
Indeed, yeah, and I think that we saw that in the flexibility that Nico was using the last time. And then finally, just to talk quickly about Enki, we saw, you know, I'm biased because roller main, but also the Barry as well, who is playing a variety of different weapons and kind of forming that kind of backline. I know Barry can play all sorts of things. Like, I hope we see a Barry Bloblobber come out. Just saying. If it doesn't happen, that's fine, Barry. But I want you to pick Bloblobber at some point today, and also Charger as well. And we did not see him play any of those yet, so I'm really curious to see what they come out with, and obviously the other members as well. So as we get here into the Rainmaker, That's My ScapeGOAT versus Blue Moon Battlers. Here's the roller from Enki and the blob. Thank you, Barry. Let's go.
Orange S-Blast.
Yeah, and then that Blue Moon Battlers, they do have, like we saw, bolts with that bow to apply a bunch of pressure, but also the Pro, Zap, and the Doolies coming out as well to apply lots of pressure using Crab.
I like both comps in this. They're both very interesting.
Yes.
We are seeing Blob here applying some pressure. Enki goes down on the side of That's My ScapeGOAT. Oily is trying to apply some pressure on left, but gets taken down.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's still very, very like neutral here in mid.
Yeah, it is neutral. Oh no, poor Nico gets the unfortunate drop there on that reef slider. But they do find a really good direct on Kylem's guy. And finally, we are going to see this shift in the favor of That's My ScapeGOAT. But still, Blue Moon Battlers is putting up a really good defense here. Let's see if they can defend the checkpoint.
Oh, there was some interesting battles happening there on the way to the checkpoint. But Barry does manage to break the barrier. And now they're having a lot of... Okay, they had a lot of control very forward, but now they're still holding it, and despite the disadvantage in players.
Yeah.
Oily picks up the Rainmaker and starts gaining some points here.
Ooh, big push from Ollie, like you said. You know, it was interesting because, we saw a triple on the pop coming out from Barry. It almost, I was just about to say, oh, they lost it. You know, they can defend here. Blue Moon Battlers just needs to set up a defense. No. Was that a pop? I couldn't even tell what that was.
So it was a pop. It was a pop.
Okay.
Yeah, that is a very funny strategy. Where you just like take the Rainmaker to a place where it's gonna be in the middle of everyone, and then just pop it.
Let's look at this
the
replay here. So Ollie went up, and they then backed up, grabbed the Rainmaker, and I thought this was going to be the end of the push, where Blue Moon Battlers sort of shut them down at 16. But then Barry just lobbed the they just went for the pop and got all 3 of them.
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
Even the person that was trying to go on great, on the top left great, they were barely caught off guard by that explosion, and that was a beautiful play, honestly.
Yeah, just look at this replay again. You know, Ollie got it in a good position, but Barry and the rest of the team, like, you see Nico there is also fighting. I think they just collectively knew they had enough pop power just to pop it even with Ollie being down, right? Like, they just committed to the bit, and that's the most amazing thing. Like, you know, it's funny because we've all died to Rainmaker Pops. I die to Rainmaker Pops all the time, right? But every time we see something like that, it's like, yeah, the Rainmaker.
Yeah.
It's just a weapon in and of its own right sometimes.
So, I think that is kind of a little bit of what you were talking about earlier with like watching out for that like quick pop.
Yeah.
It didn't come from the boat. But
it didn't. I was expecting it to come from the other side, but you know, Barry blobbed. So what can I say?
But it is incredibly. It's so interesting to see these like approaches with. Maybe not quite niche mechanics, but stuff that isn't like immediately on the brain in the moment.
Because it's not like, someone just randomly got a triple, right? Like, I mean, the Rainmaker, maybe someone does get a triple. That happens sometimes. But you also have to be aware of the non-player threats, right? Like, it is a player threat insofar as the opponents have to pop it, but it's also a non-player threat in which you can pop it too. Like, it's a neutral weapon, right? It's whoever takes advantage of it will get the extra pain and pop.
Yeah, and Blue Moon Battlers were definitely not ready to have the Rainmaker shield be popped in an instant.
Yeah, I will say Blue Moon Battlers did a very good job at the beginning of the game sort of establishing the initial control in fights. And we saw a really good fight come out from the side of Bluey there on the side of Blue Moon Battlers, just taking down, I believe that was Ollie there on the Bamboozler. However, I think the difficulty they ran into is that they kind of allowed their opponents to get control of the Rainmaker, which allowed them to get even more control, right? Because if you go one down and they grab the Rainmaker, suddenly they can paint, they can, you know, they could kind of defend themselves by these giant shots. So I think as we move into Mako Mart Splat Zones, things will probably change a bit because it's no longer quite as snowbally. Like it's no longer, there's a massive pop that will kill 3 of us, but you do have to be very careful of getting locked out on this map, right?
Yeah.
Because if you get locked out, then things get snowbally. And this is interesting because we do see a bow on both sides now, and I believe that's from Barry, but very similar comp otherwise on the side of That's My ScapeGOAT.
Yeah. Oh, I also like that Dynamo.
Dynamo, okay. You know, Dynamo got a lot of buffs. Let's see what Kyle's guy will come up with here.
So, I'll keep the chatter for after. Right now, Nico is taking the right stack, and they're making a very good push here. Ooh, all right. Lots of advantage for That's My ScapeGOAT right away.
Yeah, I think That's My ScapeGOAT really committed to that fight over on the left-hand side, which can be risky sometimes, right? And Enki here is just still committed to the fight, jumping straight into a Tetris and coming up on front. This is what you don't want to see. You don't want to see a flanker named Nico on the right side with the cheese ready to go. Oh my goodness, no! Here it comes. Oh, Nico! Oh, Nico! What are you doing? No!
That was the hitbox race. That was the hitbox race. That worked.
Nico knew about the new hitbox and just timed that Reef Slider perfectly. And with Enki's bubble here on the top left, this is going to be the sort of lockout we see. However,
strikes come out.
The triple strikes come out, but 2 go down, 3 go down. Covalent, what are they going to have to do here to take this back?
This is looking grim, unfortunately, but what an explosive start.
Yeah, the explosive start just translated into an explosive game there. And I think what we saw at the very beginning was 2 members of the side of Blue Moon Battlers sort of hidden behind the block on the drop, right? And like that could be a good position to be because you have the cover we were talking about earlier. The problem is I think That's My ScapeGOAT was like, let's just fully commit to doing the fight here. And they ended up not just getting, I think they got 2 down there, and then Enki was able to pick off the Tetras who had dropped in their bottom right, essentially, and was able to then move up with the bubble. So
Yeah.
they just basically decided, and as we see the replay here, like you can see just how far back That's My ScapeGOAT had pushed Blue Moon Battlers.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's like, if there's only 5 seconds left on the clock, then it doesn't matter how many of us go down. We can just commit to being in their base,
Especially because the spawn is so far away from the zone. There's a lot of space to set up in front of the zone to keep that very oppressive pressure on the defenders and just prevent them from moving forward.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really like the adjustment that we saw coming out the side of Blue Moon Battlers. I think Dynamo has obviously gotten really strong in this new patch. And then they also had the Tetras as well, which they didn't have the last game, to give them the Reef Slider, kind of give them that skirmishy pressure. I think where things sort of went wrong for them was at the beginning of the game and then also in terms of the lockout, right? Because they had... Now I'm being quoted in real time. Oh, ooh, Nico. Okay, well, I'll have to go talk to him later about that. Hey, look, it was really smart to do. I was just about to talk about Nico because they knew, hey, we just got 2-3 of them down. If we put our blaster player on the far right-hand side, then the opponent, they can't go left without running into a Reef Slider, right? Because Nico did not have to fully commit the Reef Slider right there. He could have held it for however long amount of time, but then he saw the fact that his teammates were putting up a ton of pressure on left, right? And at that point, you just pop the Reef Slider and you're able to get 1, get 2, and like you said, now we have a buff, right? Like we have a buff to the damage radius, and Nico is just like, oh, I'm just gonna go back into Enki's bubble, and Enki will keep me safe, right? It's like
something that I noticed was that maybe it was the slider might have been popped from a little too far, because it also got a nerf to the distance that it can.
Oh, did it really?
That it travel.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, like I said earlier, I'm going to learn new things every single time we talk about this. You know, you keep me up to date, Cavalent. Thank you. Anyway, but I did not know about that. That is actually good to know, just for my own sake in the future. Inkblot Art Academy Tower Control.
The classic.
The classic. The counter pick of all counter picks, right? And okay, you now see the bucket coming out from the side of Blue Moon Battlers.
And the Nubo.
And the Nubo. Yeah, so what's interesting on the side of Blue Moon Battlers is now they have a multiple, like, tower GG, right?
Yeah.
Because you can just... Whoa. Oh, my goodness. Okay. What?
If you be at home.
What? I was so busy talking about their comp, I didn't even notice the fact that 4 bamboos just came out. And I think you noticed like 5 seconds before I did. I'm very sorry. Quad bamboo. This is not the first time this has happened. In SeaBATTLE 2, I do remember having to fight a quad bamboo comp that looks suspiciously like these players.
20 pew pew at home.
20 pew pew at home. And already 20 pew pew at home is showing why they are 20 pew pew and maybe just not at home, as they already get 2 down. But this is a good Dynamo position. Unfortunately, going down to the myriad of chickens that come out from the side of Blue Moon Battlers, or sorry, for That's My ScapeGOAT. What in the world is Blue Moon Battlers going to have to do, Covalent? This is a nightmare.
It's mostly trying to shake off the evil aura that comes from 4 bamboos showing up against you.
Oh my goodness. The aura is impeccable here with all 4 bamboos just crowding the tower. I think if you fight 4 bamboo, what you have to do is play to their weaknesses, right? Like, you basically have to not challenge them when they're spamming whale at you, which is difficult when there's 4 of them. But what you really have to do is apply enough pressure to where they either have to hit a shot, which can be difficult close up, or you just have to shark them out. And that's very difficult with the comp that Blue Moon Battlers is running right now, because they don't have a lot of sharky weapons, so they're going to try to win just on firepower.
Yeah, plus do not underestimate the painting power of 4 bamboos. I know that one can be a little bit unreliable with paint, but 4 of them.
Yeah. It becomes harder, right?
It's formidable.
Yeah, but that is 2 down on the side of That's My ScapeGOAT, and I think this is really time for Blue Moon Battlers to retake position in mid. As Bluey here on the bucket wants to take the challenge bottom right, hits 1 really good slosh, hits 2. Good trade coming out from the side of them, but the berry just sort of replaces where their teammate were. You know, he was rotating in through mid, and suddenly we take one down and another one appears. It's like the Hydra of the bamboos, and the control coming out from That's My ScapeGOAT has been just impeccable so far.
Yeah, no, they have so much. Ooh, they have so much synergy on when and an understanding of when to take each position for their fallen comrades.
Exactly, yeah, and the berry sharking here, finally. We have control in mid. Blue Moon Battlers has taken the tower for the very first time. They're going to have to put together a consistent push to take down at least one or two of these bamboos.
Cooler
But
salad.
Barry,
We're seeing some funny stuff
here.
here.
Barry hits one. Barry
gets it.
The kill. Oh, sharking bamboo. I didn't think I'd see one of those today, and already the momentum has just shifted back on the side of That's My ScapeGOAT and the patented quad bamboo.
Yeah, and they're looking into pushing onto bats, just keeping that pressure on. Ledge camping with bamboo, very interesting to see, but if there's a team that will do it, it's this team.
Totally agreed. Already we see Enki all the way up in the bats. This is not the position. And the berry is just in their spawn right now. No, Barry, no, don't do it to them. Please get a pick. Okay, thank goodness. But already it might just be too late as we see one bamboo in the bats, the other bamboo in the spawn after doing the bamboo shark. Okay. Oh, my goodness. You know,
what a game.
20 pew-pew at home, 20 pew-pew here. Like, I don't even know what to tell you. What a game.
I love Nico's outfit, by the way. Very powerful.
They're just sitting there plotting the quad. Look at this replay. Look at Enki here in the bats. Evers, look at the bats. Barry is literally in their spawn. Like, when was the last time you saw a bamboo just push to the spawn with impunity? Like, I mean, that's the sort of aura farming that only 20 pew-pew at home can possibly pull out here.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness. What
Oh
are
my
they
gosh.
doing?
I am speechless. I couldn't really keep track of what was going on in the game just from the mere
Number of bamboos?
yeah, the intimidation tactics worked on me as a commentator.
It did as well as me as well. And I think, you know, Blue Moon Battlers definitely, I love the fact that they were constantly trying to adjust, right? Like we saw the Dynamo come out, we saw the Bucket come out, which generally is a really, really, really good, you know, pick, right? So I really like what they saw, and I think that they're going to slowly continue to adjust as they continue to fight at the SeaBATTLE. So good showing from them, and honestly, really good showing from That's My ScapeGOAT too, because we saw that they got 0-3 the last match, and being able to recover from that and turn that into a 3-0, it just speaks to the sort of mental fortitude, and especially ending that on a 20 pew-pew at home is fantastic.
Yeah,
so.
no, absolutely. Like as we were talking at the end of last match, like there's a lot of very strong teams here.
Yeah.
So even if it looks like a set is very snowbally and very in the favor of one team in particular, that doesn't mean that it's the other team is particularly bad or
no.
anything. Like, these are fantastic players. All of them are fantastic players. It's just they are all fantastic players.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of raid bosses.
Yeah, and don't forget, folks, that it's not just a single tournament or anything.
Absolutely.
We have groups, and then we have our redemption stage, we have our silver bracket, we have our finals. There's so much Splatoon to be played. Every team is going to go on and play some variation of those three that we just talked about. So keep with us today, and I think that ends our current block, Covalent.
I believe so,
any
yeah.
last things? I have one last thing I want to say, but in the meantime, anything last thing to say?
You go first.
Okay, Costco Shrimp Cocktail, very important, extremely important, perennial powerhouse every single time has appeared at SeaBATTLE. Costco Shrimp Cocktail, look at her shirt right there. Be on the lookout for them. Costco Shrimp Cocktail. That's it for me.
Thank you so much.
Any closing words?
What is the name of your team?
Us? It's going to be My.
Keep an eye out for My.
Unfortunately, My is not working today, but our team is called My because My is a great rhythm game. So thank you.
Yeah.
Keep a lookout for us. Keep a lookout for Costco Shrimp Cocktail, and stay with us. We'll get into Wave A Round 3 just after this break. Bye, everyone.